this is Bowser at the Reynolds Kingdom of Golf, and I wanted to do a series on slicing or fixing your slice and really learning how to draw the golf ball. So I think there's 4 skills that are really important that all good players share, and one of those skills is club face awareness. And so a big part of a player being able to hit the ball from right to left or draw the ball is having awareness of where that club face is, what their tendencies are with the club face. And so slicers, as a group, your club face is open. That's what makes the ball curve to the right. So the first thing I just want to talk about is kind of a concept, and then I want to go through grip. So one thing that I would say is kind of true amongst good players is I feel like really good golfers, they're holding a club head in their hand when they play golf. And so they have really connected the dots between their hands and the face of the club. And this holds true from a driver all the way through a putter. And we do this intuitively in other sports like ping pong or tennis. You know, we don't need an instructor to help us kind of connect the dots between our hands and our face just because of the size of the racket. And I think the fact that the grips are a little bit different, that connection is intuitive. But in golf, oftentimes for most people, it's not. So the idea here with this club face is if I said to somebody, shut the club face, if I was kind of looking at you this way, I would go like that with my right hand to close the club face. If I said hit the ball with the club face open, I would leave it open. A lot of times in golf, we think, well, if I do 17 other things right, and if I keep my right elbow tucked in, and if I bump my hip and shift my weight, the club face will kind of magically or hopefully square up at the bottom. And really, that's not the case. So I want to talk a little bit about your hands and that connection, and we'll start with grip on that. So your grip plays a huge role in what the club face looks like at impact. And so most slicers tend to share a few common things in their grip. And the first would be they tend to grip it through the palm. And so a golf club begs to be gripped through the palm really because of the angle of the shaft. So the angle of the stick, it's really common to see people put the club through their palm. And when you do that, your wrists can't function properly in the golf swing and won't square the face up. So I've marked this glove up a little bit, and so the idea in golf with both hands, whether you interlock, overlap, or use what's called a 10-finger or baseball grip, you're going to hold the club in your fingers. So in your left hand in particular, you want to make sure that that golf club rests in the fingers. You can see that steady green line is above the grip. And so now when I fold over, I've made a little dot on the top on the heel pad. I can see that dot. And so what I try to teach most of my players, I want their thumb to sit more on the back side of the shaft as they look down. So the Golf Pride logo, my thumb is to the right of that as I look down. And that would, to me, be kind of I would say, a strong to a neutral grip. In addition to that, in your right hand, you want the club to, again, lay in the fingers. I use an interlocking grip, but it lays in the fingers. I cover up that thumb, and you can see this line here between my thumb and my forefinger. It's kind of headed up towards my right shoulder somewhere. The more this way my right hand goes, the more likely I will be to have an open club face at impact. The more my right hand is under, the more likely I'll be to have a closed club face at impact. Oftentimes that gets confused. But the thing that I want you to take away from holding the golf club is my hands really are the determining factor as far as what that club face is going to look like. My hips aren't moving as I do this. My knees aren't moving. My shoulders aren't moving. You control that face through your hands and your forearms, and that's kind of the skill that you've got to build, an understanding of how to close the club face through the hitting area and during the backswing.